All right, it's been a while since I've done one of these, but I got something to react to. I got something to react to that actually pertains to something I've talked about prior. So let us begin this. Okay, so I have with me an article. I'm going to share it while I can, while I can. So here we have an article that apparently pops up. Some of these stories pop up on my phone through Newsbreak. Whenever I get something, I'll share it from time to time. This one, however, the title, My Husband Sent Me a Seemingly Innocent Text. It led me to discover he'd been cheating for years. Now, I did not read this entire article. I only read like the first few paragraphs. So let's dig in. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but pretty much 3 days before Valentine's Day 2018, I discovered my husband of 13 years was cheating on me. Just 72 hours later, I participated in a student-led Valentine's Day Q&A panel at the university. Of course, they're going to talk about what university she works to for later, I'm assuming. Where I teach as a psychologist. Oh boy, that's a big red flag right there. With interest in social technologies. Now, fellas, um, the sociology, psychology, those major chicks usually got some issues. Because what at least from the psych ones, what I get from them is I guess they tell themselves they're going to learn about how the brain works, and then they're eventually going to use their skills to talk down to everyone else. So chicks like to do this whole. That's why a lot of them. Plus, those degrees, they're not as strenuous as like a engineering degree and stuff like that. We got to do a lot of math and whatnot. So chicks that usually go these psych majors and stuff like that, it's to me it's a big red flag just from my experience. Oftentimes they try to find ways to because remember I talked about people how they rationalize stuff. So what they tend to do is they try to rationalize their fuck ups and how they're so fucked up, and they use something that they learned through this degree process to try to warp it into something else. And it's like, actually, that's not what this is. You're actually just a fucked up individual. So just red flag every time you see a chick, psychology major, and she's a teacher, so that means she went for at least the master's or something like that. Maybe even PhD. I'm not even sure because apparently you can do that. But yeah, just keeping that in mind. Ironically, the students wanted the panel to talk about healthy relationships and love. So this is like one of those things where you never know what's going on in somebody's life. That's why, like, if I've ever been on a panel with somebody and they're talking about how great and wonderful their relationship is, stuff like this can absolutely be occurring. Exactly what she's talking about, where she had to go on a panel talking about healthy relationships. I'm pretty sure she probably related to her own relationship, even though she states here 72 hours prior she found out her husband of 13 years was cheating on her. Okay, so yeah, you best believe she took advantage of that situation to try to talk about positively about her relationship, despite the fact she knew her 72 hours prior her husband was absolutely cheating on her. And I'm going to talk about um, why I'm talking about the cheating as to how I'm talking about it. Okay, because I don't cheat. I'm not a cheater. Never cheated in my life. So here we go. I didn't experience the panel as painful, but I still have no idea how I got through that event, other than the protection provided by being in a state of shock. I do recall talking about how unhealthy it would be to use technology constantly tracking your partner's location due to mistrust. There's a key one right there, constantly. Now, mind you, I did talk about how I did this to myself and with my partner, but I've also planned to do it with my daughter. But do realize that the way I was doing it was through security purposes. I was not tracking my partner, even though I was tracking my partner. And what I mean is the tracker was running on my partner, but I wasn't looking at it unless there was something that happened, like say she goes missing, then I'm gonna look at it. It's that type of situation. I wasn't every day going and looking at the damn GPS location and stuff. No, I wasn't doing that. Not at all. Same thing with the cameras. I was not looking at the cameras, and I even talk about this. I don't know if I aired that broadcast, but I didn't even know nothing was weird was going on until someone started messing with the cameras, and then I started looking at the cameras. Ironically, so until something happens or there's something that clicks, or something odd out of the ordinary, then I might go check to see what's going on either with the cameras or the GPS, etc. Now she's talking about just straight up tracking her partner, like 24 hours, seeing his every whereabouts and all that shit. And she's about to contradict herself because she says, I do recall talking about how unhealthy it would be to use technology to constantly track your partner's location due to mistrust. And mind you, she's talking about this at that panel, mind you. So she's been very hypocritical because she went on and did the very thing she said is unhealthy, which was also completely ironic considering I was about to track my husband's location due to mistrust. No, it's not ironic. It's just you're a fucking liar and a hypocrite. Because this is how chicks, like this. Remember the psych major. You remember how I said she uses whatever she can with her psych degree to rationalize what's going on here. She realizes how crazy this sounded because she was like, "Yeah, I absolutely talked about how unhealthy this is, but I'm about to do it." You see what I'm saying? So this is how these chicks are. But then again, she's gonna try to rationalize it or whatever. But you see where I'm going with this. So she'll talk about how unhealthy it is. Because mind you, these chicks like this, usually it's the females that are cheating. So this actually bears weight, which is why she's saying it. Because what she's really saying is, guys, don't track your chicks. Because really, if someone's going to be tracking someone, let's be real, it's going to be the guys tracking their chicks. Because it's the females that do most of the cheating out here. So that's why she had to say this during her thing, even though the fact that she's about to definitely do it her damn self. But what she's doing is, oh guys, you're unhealthy if you want to put a tracker on your chicks, because that's really how she was putting it. I almost guarantee you that's how she was putting it. Oh, you're unhealthy if you want to put a tracker on your girl's phone, because that's just unhealthy, and it's unhealthy level of mistrust. That's I'm pretty sure that's probably how she framed it. But because turn right around and she's like, well, ironically, I'm about to do that very thing, but she's gonna say, but it's different, because she's the woman and blah 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 blah. My discovery began with a text message in which my then husband told me about an amazing church he was visiting in North Carolina. Dude made a flub right there. He told the location where he had supposedly traveled for a work trip. Work trip, work trip, work trip. He sent my photos of the singers on stage, nothing the same. Nothing the name, noting the name of one of the singers in particular so I could find her music later. My husband told my husband, who told me he attended the church with a work buddy, explained that he enjoyed the service so much he wanted to share the experiences with me. So at the end of the day, what happened here is she did a Google search off of what he sent her, and found out the place was actually in Knoxville, Tennessee. I think she did it in real time, or she went to look at the recording, because some of these churches, they'll record the stuff and post it online. So she apparently looked it up. Now, mind you, I don't know why a guy decided to lie and say he was in North Carolina. I don't know why. I guess maybe his work had something to do with North Carolina or something, and he thought he could easily do it. No, I mean, this guy was messy. Just this alone, mind you, I guess he didn't assume his wife was going to go look this up, which kind of lets you know she probably has some red flags. Or this is actually what females do all the time, to be honest. They're always making sure you're not cheating. Now, she can absolutely have a couple of male betas orbiting her, and she'll go to them from time to time, but she absolutely wants to make sure you're not cheating, because she wants to make sure she secures all the benefits from you. So this is actually common for women. They always want to go through your phones and track you, and that's actually a normal thing. That's actually what females just do, because she always wants to make sure her spot is secure, because women are very insecure. Narcissism is rooted in insecurity, mind you. She said, I repeatedly watched the video footage I found of that church service, and eventually I saw my husband standing. Now, mind you, just I wonder. She said repeatedly watched the video footage. So I wonder if she like kept going back and then like kind of like a Where Waldo's type thing where she was freeze framing it and shit, looking for her husband in the service. Now, this lets you know just how far she went with this. It wasn't like she went back to watch the service. No, she went back to find her husband in the crowd to see. Eventually, what she found out was who he was with. I saw my husband standing big as day in a yellow sweater vest that I bought him, texting me with one hand and holding another woman's hand with the other. Okay. So that just lets you know, she definitely went for it. She definitely looked for it. That moment 4 years ago set off what would become the most excruciatingly painful next few months of my life. It didn't have to be that excruciating, I'm just saying. I didn't confront my husband. Instead, I became my own private investigator and went on a quiet rampage. So she did the FBI treatment. She was like, okay, she's racking up proof. So instead of like the regular police where they catch you in the act and then they confront you, she said, oh, no, 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 no. I'm going the FBI route. Okay, dealing with the bills made me anxious. So she's talking about her husband took care of the money. So then she started being on her Sherlock Holmes as she went through the mail and the bills. And now this right here is one of the things I do want to note. The fact that he had opened multiple credit cards in her name. Now that is one thing that I want to note. Okay. Um, these bills provided records of shopping trips, dinner dates, and out-of-state concerts. I also found a Happy Holidays card thanking him for spending Christmas with another. Now this is another keynote coming up. This is the part that I actually started reading. It was this paragraph. And I also found a Happy Holidays card thanking him for spending Christmas with another woman's family in Tennessee instead of his own two children. Now, mind you, look at what she put right after, right after his own two children, my stepdaughters. So I guess they have no kids together. Him and her have no kids together, and he has children, two daughters. That's her stepdaughters. Okay, so he got with this woman. They have no kids. They've been married for 13 years. I guess there's no kids on the table. She decided to link herself to a guy that already had the kids, and she probably told herself she wasn't going to have his kids for whatever reason. Now, mind you, if you're going to marry a woman, it's odd that a man would marry a woman and not desire to have kids with her. That's actually very kind of odd to me. So that lets me know, like, okay, she was looking to get something out of the relationship, but she did not want to have to produce kids. So she did what some women do that don't want to have kids for whatever reason. They don't want to fulfill their feminine obligation. So they get a guy who has kids, and they're like, hey, I can play mommy, even though she's gonna be a poor mommy. But typically moms don't aren't great moms to stepkids. So instead, that it's like they do their best. How can I say it? Role play of playing mommy, and they get all that. They soak up all that mommy attention without actually having to be a real mom. And yeah, so I guess he possibly spent. There's no. I guess she. I mean, Jesus Christ. This thing about that, she went through the mail to find a damn through his mail. Mind you, she didn't just go through the mail. She went through his mail to find a Christmas card. So this is how far she was going with this. That year, he had expressed his disappointment and frustration that he had to work on Christmas. Uh-oh. But he attempted to assure me that he was out of state working on our hard to to remedy financial hardships. So, if you don't know anything about the teacher jobs, especially psychology majors, most psychologists, even if they go into the field, don't make a lot of money. They don't. So, let alone people already aware of how teachers, even though she was a professor apparently at a college, they also might not necessarily make a lot of money either. So when she's talking about financial hardships, I don't know what the guy's job is. Maybe they'll talk about it later. I'm assuming he probably made more. I'm assuming that. unless he was the type of guy that got with a female that was earning just as much as him. Then that kind of lets you know what type of guy he was. Also, that keynote earlier, he opened the credit cards up in her name. So that's another note to be mindful of too. So definitely some odd business going on. So But he attempted to assure me that he was out of state working on a hard to remedy financial hardships. He wanted me to see him as a loving, dedicated family man taking care of his responsibilities. He'd call and text his daughters and me to check on our holidays. He had just done that same thing to us that Thanksgiving. This was the first time in our marriage he had ever missed 2 holidays, but he insisted that this unusual circumstance would end when his new work situation was more resolved. I also found receipts that showed he thought he bought a hoverboard that other woman's daughter, and gift cards for her parents. He bought nothing for his daughters, who I brought to Chicago to be with my family. I powered up his old computers and cell phone. God, y'all, she was going far with this. Cell phones, which provided the bulk of the materials that documented the pervasiveness of his cheating. Now, mind you, I did not go nowhere in my relationship, my situation. I didn't go nowhere near this far at all. She doing the most. I'm just gonna put it out there. She doing the most right now, which apparently started only a few years after we were married. I obtained receipts for flowers and communications with other women from his emails. Jesus Christ, she was going all out. Now, mind you, she knows the logins for his computers and everything. I found sexually graphic pictures and text messages. Oh, on the computer. You gotta, yeah. Sometimes your phone, if you do that link thing, it'll go to your computer. So be mindful that folks, so your text messages can be seen via the computer. I'm pretty sure she's probably also talking about old phones, which yeah, be mindful of that too. Leaving old phones around with old text messages. Like, come on, people. Sloppy. I read intimate conversations. He would converse about me with some women and even went so far as to tell them about my infertility issues. Ooh, so remember that thing I talked about with the not having kids thing? Now this yeah, dude was fishing for some pity sex and all that stuff from them other females. Okay, so that means that some of these females know that he's married and they okay with the side chick position. Okay. I wondered if some of the women, there were at least 15 by my conservative estimate, knew about each other because some of them absolutely knew about me. Well, I wouldn't be surprised if they did know about each other, but then again, they probably don't give a shit just because maybe Duke was doing his part when it comes to that, and they was lapping up the benefits he was giving out with the credit cards that he opened up in her name nonetheless. Oh, there's gonna be some stuff I gotta light into this later. Now to continue, the sheer amount of data I discovered. Damn, she talked about like a damn researcher. The sheer amount of data I discovered, which spanned numerous years, was overwhelming. The man I learned about from all this evidence was not the husband I thought I had been married to. For 13 years, I was heartbroken and embarrassed that I had never known about this infidelity, but I trusted and loved him, and I can't believe he had done was doing this to me. So he's still doing it. So I mean, she's probably still with him or not. Who knows? I decided to make a clandestine out of state trips of my own to see him cheating with my own eyes. Why? Because despite everything I had found, I was still in denial. Okay, this is just her rationalizing. You already know what's going on. You, for one of the trips, I rented a small Jeep. My husband liked using my SUV for work trips because it was much smaller than his gas guzzler, and headed to Knoxville. So he drove. I don't know where the hell they are. Apparently, he drove there. I was unsure of what I'd do or find while I was there. I got a nice hotel for a couple of days, visited my old stomping grounds on the hill at the University of Tennessee, of course, so she was Tennessee major, that's her alma mater, and attended service at the church where I first caught my husband cheating through their archived Facebook page live stream. Oh, so she went through the Facebook live stream. That's what she went through. I also began tracking my husband, which, thanks to the GPS system in my SUV, was easy to do. I followed him to Farragut Dog Park, so I guess the chick has a dog, and parked on a hill that afforded me a perfect view of him and another woman. I saw what I needed to see and recorded a video of myself talking while watching him cheat right in front of me. It helped soothe me and kept me calm since I learned of this affair through an online video. It felt poetic for my healing to start with making my own video. I never posted it on social media. In that moment, it was just for me. Okay, so she's one of those chicks. Yeah, she didn't post it probably because she was up to something. So she didn't post it, although this article is being made about it, mind you. But yeah, she tries to make it seem like she's not trying to dox him, but she absolutely is doxing him. So she just didn't post it because she probably was going to post it later or use it for something eventually. That's what that was, which is kind of what she's doing now with this article. After seeing the truth for myself, I now had no reason to hold this secret any longer. I told the people I cared about the most. So there we go. So then she immediately went on a tour to oust her husband. Right after she said she didn't post on social media. Oh no, she just went to the immediate friends and family to oust him there. Who I believe deserved to hear the news from me. My stepdaughters. Oh boy, she told his daughters. Oh my God. She told his daughters. Y'all, that's treacherous. Those aren't her daughters. So mind you, the conversation that she had with those girls. Your father is cheating on me. Like, y'all, that's treacherous. She doesn't go to him. She goes straight to his daughters. That's fucking treacherous. You remember psychology major? Yeah, she knows exactly what she's doing here. His daughters. That's fucking treacherous. And sisters-in-laws. So that means his sisters. So she went straight to his family. She's doxing him to his family, the females of his family, i.e. his daughters and his sisters. Y'all, that's treacherous. That's fucking treacherous. That's even worse than putting it on social media, because at least he'll know about it. But now he'll have his own family treating him some type of way. Because females, y'all funny like that. Y'all are funny like that. Y'all start treating them a certain way instead of actually coming out. Actually, what the funny thing is, they'll side with his wife over him. That's how the sisterhood is, assuming she's black. The author, the author, 4-year-old, so she's black. So that's how the sisterhood works, actually, with black females. Y'all all side with each other, even if you aren't fucking related. Meaning, his own daughters will side with her, and his own sisters will side with her, and they'll all scheme together behind the scenes against him, especially if they don't like him. Because you know how sometimes, especially if you're the older male or you're the only male in a family full of females, that means your life is usually more structured, because most times, of course, most black females are single. So the females in your family, especially if you're a black male, their lives are chaotic and trash. So you tend to be the successor in the family, and they kind of carry a little bit of hate towards you, because all black females muster that contempt for black men. So they all gang up with each other for that reason. And now they're probably going to start like conspiring and doing shit against him if they don't straight out just confront him. My husband found out I was leaving him. I was leaving him through his own family. So that means she was already making plans for divorce. Never told him, mind you, this is how guys get blindsided, mind you. So that means he had to find out she was leaving through his family. Mind you, the family that she told before she even confronted him about it, that he was cheating. I didn't waste my breath talking to him. So she didn't even, you see what I'm saying? Like, she didn't even bother. But she blasted his whole family. Okay. When we did text, he continued to deny everything and claimed that our relationship would be better as soon as he finished his out-of-state training. He admitted to nothing. Of course he didn't. Before our divorce was finalized, my husband and the last woman he had been cheating with had a baby. Okay. So this goes into that whole infertility thing. This, unfortunately, can be a thing. Like I said, I don't know why he married her. Maybe he didn't find out about her infertility until after they got married. Who knows? It could have been one of those situations. But yeah. Sadly, my health insurance company had made a huge mistake when I transferred my health insurance to my own separate policy within the same company. Wait, within the same company. Wait, do they work for the same company? It mistakenly placed that baby under my account. The claim was ultimately denied, but not before I saw the baby's name. What the hell? And when I did, a pain so deep within me spilled out of my mouth as a well in a dry heap. Why? My husband and I had been actively trying to get pregnant. During the grad school, I created a list of gender neutral names I wanted to use as used for my girl. Why would you even see this? This lets you know that feminist bullshit. Mind you, she's college, so that means she's indoctrinated. So that's what she had to put in that whole gender neutral name bullshit for a girl. Mind you, they're planning, and she's already saying she wants a girl, obviously, because she wants to support the sisterhood. She doesn't want to have another black male. No, 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 no. She wants another girl, of course. So that kind of, confirms all that other stuff I was saying from before. My ex-husband took my top name and gave it to his son. What the hell was the name? When I saw that name on my computer screen while logged into my health insurance account, I don't even know how that was even possible, to be honest. I really don't. I feel like she's lying there. She probably like did some digging or something, or went through his account or something like that. I felt as though there was nothing else this man could take from me. I wondered if the child's mother knew that her baby daddy's wife named her child. I wondered if she knew she wasn't the only one. It took me a while to realize that blessings come in all varieties, and I feel fortunate that I never had a baby with him, of course. In months after my discovery of our split, I felt disgusted. Weight fluctuated, of course it did, if it wasn't already big. I'm assuming, like most of y'all, she gained weight after they got married. I'm just going to go ahead and just put it out there. I'm pretty sure she was already, if she wasn't overweight before they got married, she definitely was overweight after. Absolutely, because all of y'all get overweight. You know what I'm saying? All of y'all. I'm talking about all married females, especially black females. The statistics are what they are for a reason. The majority of y'all are overweight, which the majority of that is obese. I had constant headaches. I continually wanted to cry, but was too exhausted and dehydrated. I wanted to vomit, but okay, she can extra right now. I made it a personal mission to delete his entire existence from my life. Of course, he did. Wait, we were together for over 15 years, so this wasn't going to be okay. So she's in a caffeine-induced mania. So she did what females do, scrub the social media and all that. It certainly didn't go perfectly because I stayed connected to close in-laws and select shared friends. Now, why the fuck, mind you, why would you want to stay in touch with the in-laws? See, this is how females do that shit where like she's saying that she's trying to move on and whatnot, but mind you, she's still in contact with the in-laws, so just so she can still kind of fuck with him and see what's going on with him. That's how females do this shit. They always know where their exes are. Shout out JB. But yeah, they always know where their exes are for shit like this. Like, there's no reason. Like, I don't care how cool I am with your in-laws. Yeah, once we're done, we're done. I'm cutting you and your family off. It's period. I don't have to talk to nobody else. Now, me and my situation is different because I have a daughter. But aside from that, I don't want to talk to none of your folks at all. I was also unable to delete pictures of him from my family's social media pages, like old family reunion photos. So okay, so there she is, of course, overweight. Despite my research interest being in social technologies, I had never fully considered the anguish that digital technologies can cause. So this is her relating her degree to what she's going through. So I guess she can tell this story to her folks or her clients that she's going to have eventually. She says she was a computer whiz kid. My first love was my first computer, a whiz kid. So she was a gamer chick. Okay, so I'm pretty sure she was antisocial. So gaming. So they were gamers. So that kind of tells you how they are. So what it sounds like was they were gamers. They got together probably in college because apparently they did say that they were together in Tennessee. She was at the University of Tennessee, so I'm assuming that's probably where they met. They were gamers. She was probably that dorky chick you can kind of see her here. What tends to happen as we get older, as guys go up in their careers. Now, mind you, if he had a job where he traveled, I'm assuming he made decent income. Why they were financially strapped, mind you, she had all them degrees, so I'm pretty sure they had a lot of debt, and which is why she also didn't want to deal with the debts, which is why he handled the money. So yeah, that kind of tells you he paid the bills. So I'm pretty sure he probably made the more money. She's not admitting to that because she doesn't want her ego to take that big of a hit. But mind you, she doesn't. I have yet to hear what he is or what he does or what his profession is. But I'm assuming he made more money than her. So I'm assuming they got together in college. What happens is as we get older, women, y'all lose your value. So she racked. I don't know when they got married. Apparently, she says, they were together for 13 years. They knew each other for 15. I don't, she looks like she could be in her 40s maybe. So she probably ragged him in her 20s. Okay, cool. That's what you're supposed to do. But as we get older, now mind you, she couldn't lock him down with a kid, unfortunately, and he already had kids too, which makes you think that it was probably late 20s that they got together because he had to get some other chick pregnant twice. So I'm assuming that probably happened. I'm assuming she's probably not telling us how she met him because she was probably his side chick before. That's the one thing she's leaving out here. That's the one thing she's leaving out here. She was probably his side chick to the chick that he had them kids with. That's probably some information she's leaving out because, mind you, her bond or the bond she claims she has with those stepdaughters that she's talking about. Yeah, mind you, like how she went straight to them when their father was cheating on her. Yeah, so that kind of there's some fishiness, a lot of fishiness she's not saying here. A lot of deception here. But something tells me she was his side chick. She would probably contributing to his cheating on whoever that chick was he got pregnant before her. So she's up here waiting in a courthouse hallway in this picture. So obviously, yep, she was overweight. So you see here, she's definitely overweight. As I went through my divorce, which was finalized a few months before 2020. Ooh, so that means right before. Hey, this is right in that prime time too. This was like 2019. So hey, she thought she was about to do it big. She about to get out here on her own. We all know what happened in 2020. That pandemic hit, and there was a lot of females out here like, "Ooh, I need a man." So yeah, she thought she was about to do it big. Right before the pandemic, I realized that I may never become the researcher in social technology I had once hoped to be. It's still too painful. She kept her head high. She kept teaching and working. Of course, you got to pay your bills now. She's trying to pick up her job, where she teaches in a lab somewhere. I lived on my own and bought a car on my own. Okay. She said she already had a car, and now she went and bought another car. So that lets you know she's probably, doing that whole material therapy thing the females do after breakups. You try to tell yourself that you're great and doing good on your own, and then you start buying shit. Because she already had a car, and she says she bought a car on her own, which means this is post 2020, and now it's 20. I mean, it's still a terrible time to buy a car. So she literally bought a car during a terrible time to buy a car. I knew that I could pay my bills. I knew that I could pay my bills because now I controlled my money, even though she literally told you he was running the money because she was bad at it. I also did what I needed to do to leave my ex's toxicity behind. Okay, what toxicity? I confronted him once for leaving notes on my car at work, but I never saw him until our meeting at divorce court. Now, she doesn't say what he left the notes for, because mind you, he could have just went to her and talked to her in person if he knew where her car was. But he never says what he left the notes for, but I'm pretty sure she was doing something. Mind you, she still says she was in contact with the family. So she's still in contact with his family. So I'm pretty sure some of those notes, which means if he's leaving notes, that means that she was blocking his phone, text, and calls. So she was probably contacting and doing shit with his family. He was probably trying to get in contact. Hey, can you leave my folks alone? Stop doing this. Stop. Because mind you, she went straight to his kids and his sisters to say, your brother, your father is a cheating bastard. That's literally what she did. I now have a new wonderful partner. Okay, so she moved on quick because I had some trust issues, to say the least. We're taking things slowly, of course, but I'm pretty sure she's having sex. In the beginning, we talked on the phone for hours like teenagers. He validates my experiences. He is empathetic and transparent. He buys me flowers. I chuckle when he leaves his email up on his laptop or leaves his phone unlocked with the screen up. Okay, he's doing the most. I know it's intentional, but I'm still at a place where I appreciate the intention. It's nice to date someone that's so mild tempered, trustworthy, and consistent. Okay, I don't hear nothing about marriage here, which there's reason for that. She kind of understands. Yeah, she ain't a hot pick for marriage. She's infertile. She's older. She's overweight. So wherever this guy is, hey, by all means, my dude, she big up in you. He probably only come through every now and then, but hey, that's fine. Hey, that's cool. Some dudes take the time out to do all this crap. I'm pretty sure she's probably exaggerating, but hey, it's cool. It's whatever. I am still experiencing trauma from my marriage and my husband's infidelities. So she's still dealing with that shit. Mind you, her husband, her ex-husband, still in her mind. Oh shit. Some of it may always remain unresolved because my ex-husband died last year. What the fuck? So dude is dead. So dude is dead, and she decides to tarnish his character even further post-mortem by doing this shit. Because mind you, we see who she is. It's only a hop, skip, a jump to find out who he was, because she was married to him, and she literally tells you there's still photos of him and her together online, so you can literally go look up who he was. So she thinks she's slick doing this. There are days when I wish I had told him. Now she's got to play the card where it's like, oh, I wish him well and I wish the best for him, even though she was probably doing some of the most cutthroat, scandalous shit behind the scenes that obviously she's not going to admit to and say it here. That I knew everything he had done to me. I am still not sure he knew I was aware of the extent of his deception. I mean, baby, you divorced him. You didn't talk to him. You went straight to divorce court. You literally said you just didn't talk to him. You told his daughters and his sisters and his family, but you literally just X'd him out, blocked him, and then just went straight to divorce court. I mean, what husband wouldn't be kind of like, what the fuck? Like, can we talk about this? And I'm going to talk about that in a moment, and why what she did was stupid. I wonder how he died, actually. But, unfortunate things happen. Other days I feel empathy for him and the pain I know he experienced at the end of his life. Relationships are complicated, love, and the loss of it isn't clear cut. The trail is confusing and difficult, and the way forward can be just as confusing and difficult, but I am moving forward. So, she's admitting that she is not immune to, these traumas, because I guess, she is in psychology, so she's at least admitting to that. The difference may be how we respond and cope with life issues. Yeah, because you turn into Sherlock Holmes. So so she got remember I said PhD? Dr. Samantha Gray is an assistant professor of clinical psychology at the University of Indianapolis. So remember I said she probably racked up some debt and got some degrees and all that stuff? You remember? Yep. So she's PhD, so she definitely went the route that I literally just said she went. And she was trying to rack up even more. So that's what females do, when they're feeling insecure. Like I said, her husband was probably out earning her, so she was feeling insecure about that. Because with black women, they're always trying to compete with their men instead of against their men instead of with them. So she was trying to compete against her husband, which is why she kept trying to go and get those additional degrees and everything, even though he was taking care of the finances. Now, I'm going to talk about some of the issues with this. Issue number one, the husband got lazy. He definitely got lazy, and he did not cross his T's and dot his I's with certain things. He shouldn't have shared that damn church thing with her. I don't know what the fuck he was thinking about. He got a little too comfortable. That was his biggest thing, was the whole saying he was in North Carolina. Now, here's why I say, here's my issues and here's my non-issues. I am against cheating. I'm not gonna condone it. But let's just be real. When you're in a relationship and you sign on the dotted line, now this is for the ladies. This is why women have such an issue with cheating, because this is the only way that guys can equal the playing field when it comes to their exploitation. And yes, ladies, I'm calling out for what it is. Here's my issue with this. When you sign an agreement, a marriage agreement, and you both agree on what's going to be done in that relationship, here's what tends to happen. I'm going to tell you right now, 99.9% of the times, what typically happens is the man in the relationship, you will do more. You will earn more. That is guaranteed. That is guaranteed. There isn't a single marriage that I'm aware of where the man did not earn more, do more in the relationship. There isn't one that I can think of, that I'm aware of, that I know personally. Not a one. Now, on the female side, however, now I talk about female nature. I talk about the whole something for nothing thing. Well, one way that also fits within the something for nothing is also receiving benefits while doing less for the benefits. Meaning, her husband earned $80,000 a year. I'm just putting out a number. He earned $80,000 a year before they got married. She was doing A, B, and C. He earned $80,000, $82,000. Let's just for inflation. After they got married, she was still doing A, B, and C. And then after about year 2 or 3 into their marriage, because mind you, they were married for 13 years, she says, she started only doing A, and she stopped doing B and C. Yet husband's still earning relatively the same. I mean, I'm assuming he was probably making more, but I'm just saying, in respect to this scenario, husband was still making the same money. So she was still receiving the exact same benefits, but now she's doing less. Now that also fits into that window of doing something for nothing, because she's now receiving the same benefits with less effort. This dynamic, I can actually tell you, happens in every single marriage. Now, where the other is true for the males, you have to do more and you earn more throughout the entirety of the marriage. I also see with most marriages, 99% of the marriages I've seen, the females do less, not more, less. And if you talk to the guys, the husbands, they'll tell you, yeah, she used to do this and that. She don't do that no more. But he still feels obligated to fulfill his obligations. And actually, he's excelling and doing more. Now, this is the part what I'm talking about here. Because now, because mind you, she can't be doing much because she was able to do all the Sherlocking here. She was able to do all this research and stuff and literally take trips to go spy on him while he's supposedly on his work trip. She's literally able to take time off or whatever to go spy on him. So, okay. So that kind of lets you know that what I'm saying, it holds up here. So he's in the wrong and the right, and she's in the wrong and in the right. Here's how. Assuming guy was making more money after the marriage, 10 years in, assuming he went from 80,000 to 150,000, he had the right to get a side chick, whether he said it or not. Here's where it went wrong, though. Here's where it went wrong. I'm pretty sure he probably, now this is another thing she's probably not saying here. I'm pretty sure he was probably trying to do the swinging thing with her. He probably like talked about it and whatnot. Like most females won't say this kind of thing, but most guys will actually try to drop a little flag before they start stepping out. They'll be like, hey, you want to do a threesome or want to do this or that. That he'll try to implant another female in there, because usually in a situation like this where a dude goes from 80 to 150,000, he's doubled his productivity. and she's actually doing less than before they got married, he's feeling some type of way. Let's just be real, ladies. And you know it. He's doing more, he's paying more, and you're giving less. Okay, you know this is a fucked up situation. Yet she's gonna sit up here, and I'm pretty sure he probably came to her trying to straighten that out. She declined because, mind you, for him to step out and do his thing, she had to decline because me knowing guys, if she actually stepped up and did her part, unless he's a scumbag, which it doesn't seem, even though despite what she's trying to say here, she couldn't really properly frame him as a scumbag, like what she's saying. She actually does more scumbaggery than he does by ousting him to his daughters, and hers and his sisters. So that's yeah, that's some cutthroat shit right there. So she was taking pictures of him at the dog park. What the hell? Yeah, this is crazy. I'm looking at this thing. She let's just say she went above and beyond with this. So the time she took on trying to spot and figure out what's going on with him is time she could have been doing to better herself as a wife. But instead, she wanted to do this and blow up blow up everything. Now, mind you, guy was probably gonna leave her. She was infertile. Not sure whether or not they found out about it before or after they got married. She's not saying that, but I'm assuming that it was after. She probably knew that she was infertile, but she probably still married him anyway, knowing that. Yeah, females will do that, guys. So be mindful of that. So guy was entitled to. I'm gonna say right now. If he was knocking down the bag, if he doubled the income and all that stuff, I'm assuming she did what most females do after marriage. She's doing less. Because mind you, look how she's talking about her degrees and her accomplishments and her job and all that stuff. She ain't mentioned his at all because it trumps whatever she had going on, mind you. But she didn't mention his. I don't remember seeing that at all on here. Yeah, I don't remember that. But I do remember she said he handled the money, he paid all the bills. But yeah. Now he's in the wrong with some things here. He's in the wrong not because he had the side chick. I would have did it differently. I would have let her know up front, hey, after I get pressed to a certain point, you got to kind of know your chick. You got to kind of know your chick. It's like, okay, you're the type of chick, yeah, everything is good, but you're not trying to do more. So if this is all I'm going to get, cool. But once I double and triple my productivity, I'm getting a side chick because I already know you're not going to put up for my additional productivity. You're going to receive better benefits, but you're not going to put in more work. And then to be honest, the fact that you're going to receive more benefits despite doing the same amount of effort and work is just really just because that's just the type of person I am. And you're my woman, and I'm going to make sure, you're going to get because you're with me, you're going to receive the required benefits that come along with that. But at the same time, if you're not properly reciprocating, I'm getting a side chick, period. Now, I am the type to tell up front, hey, if this is the type of deal we got going on, hey, I reserve the right for that in the future. I'm not going to guarantee it because I'm going to leave it up to the woman. If you're the type of woman, you can actually do all your part. If you are doing your part, you are reciprocating properly. I can't get a side chick. I'm just being real. No mistress, no side chick, no nothing. No. If you're doing all the part, I done double triple my productivity. You done double tripled your productivity. Yeah, we're matched. We're right there in it. I see you're putting in, I'm putting in too. Absolutely. But if I done double triple my productivity and the only thing you learned is one or two extra dishes to cook after 5, 10 years, I'm getting a side chick. I'm getting a mistress. Either or. It's happening. Because you're not reciprocating properly. You just aren't. You aren't. So he's not in the wrong necessarily for the cheating part that she's trying to put out there because remember, women are the ones that actually cheat the majority of the time. As a matter of fact, I'm pretty sure when they got together, she was probably cheating on him initially until after he committed, for marriage and everything. So Of course, she's not saying that either, because remember, she's a psych major, and psychology majors love doing that deception bullshit. That's literally one of the main reasons why they do that shit. Also, she's overweight. So depending on his productivity, let's just be real. You're overweight. I'm pretty sure she wasn't overweight when he met her. I'm pretty sure, because she's not severely overweight. I don't know. Maybe she probably does qualify for a beast, unfortunately. But I'm pretty sure when he got with her, she was a little more in shape. I'm pretty sure. But you see what I'm talking about? She was overweight. This is her going in for the divorce. She's clearly overweight. So that happened. She's older. She's overweight. But hey, he's still there. He's still paying the bills and whatnot. He's still doing our part. I think she actually exaggerated with the whole financial hardships thing. I think what it was is they were just stretched mostly because of her debts. Mind you, she had a PhD, which means she was at least 6 figures in debt for that, and all the additional expenses and whatnot. Also, the bad purchases. Remember, she said one of the first things she did right after 2020, after she got divorced, was literally go and get a damn car during one of the worst car markets of all time. So it kind of goes to show you her financial choices, right? So no wonder she exclaimed, earlier, he took care of the finances, because now she tries to make it seem like it was stressful for her, and because it was just easier for him to do it. No, she was just bad with money. That's what I'm getting out of this. He was better with money, so she left it in his hands. He probably actually told her, he's like, yeah, I'm gonna handle the money because you're terrible with money. So that's probably what that was. Also, he took advantage of that opportunity, which is what you're supposed to do. If he needed to get his other chicks some treats and stuff. Now, here's the no-no she did. She did the no-no by turning into Sherlock. Here's why. It took her doing all that extra research to find out what he was doing. Now, what this tells me is he was consistent with his output. Now, she tries to talk about the whole incident with him, in the holidays thing. Now, here's what I will say. That was dirty on his part. The whole holiday thing where he left her with his kids, and then he went and spent the 2 holidays with the other chick. I will say this, that right there is a boundary right there. I will say that, because I'm at least going to spend the holidays with my folks. He's doing it like he has a couple of chicks in rotation, which is, when you're married, that's not how I do it at all. I'm not rotating between another chick and my wife. No, my wife is my wife. She's the main. My wife's my wife. So I'm spending the holidays with wifey. Side chick is side chick. Now, this is if I'm married. This is how I do it if I was married. I spend my holidays with my wife and my kids. Period. So in my book, he's wrong for that. Now, he's right in the sense of that's how you do it if he wasn't married and she was just his main chick. Okay, then you spend it's like they take turns each year. But he's treating it like that, which makes me think that he was probably doing that back in the day, or that's how he's been doing things before he got married. So he's kind of used to doing it that way. But you're supposed to adjust. Like, no, when you're married, you spend the holidays with your family at least, because now she's using it as fuel, especially in this article. But that kind of lets me know that he was on the way out the door in this marriage. That kind of lets me know something like that. Of that nature, because he kind of is overstepping a boundary there, for me at least. That's overstepping a boundary. So he's wrong in that regard. He's wrong in opening the cards in her name and using that for his chicks. Yeah, you're supposed to do it off your finances, bro. And that's really the red flag for me, because I'm like, okay, maybe he wasn't earning like he needed to be, and he did all that financial trickery with opening cards in her name to compensate or something like that. I don't know what the deal was there, but that's a red flag for me. So he's in the wrong for that as well. But aside from that, I can't blame him. I mean, I can't blame him. I'm assuming she was in shape better. She was in better shape when he first met her. I'm assuming that. Also, she is infertile. I can only assume that he found out after they got married. She probably already knew. She probably knew she was already infertile. She just didn't tell him. I'm telling you right now, fellas, you might want to check beforehand. They absolutely will lie about that type of thing. You just assume that she's fertile, but there are females out there, they will absolutely know they're infertile. And then you're up here talking about wanting to have more kids and all that stuff. And she's like, oh, yeah, good, great. And she'll walk your ass down the aisle knowing she's infertile and she can't give you no kids. Like, that's a thing. That happens. Don't ask me how I know. So I'm actually familiar with that type of situation where he went and got another woman pregnant because his wife is infertile. Unfortunately, personally, I can actually relate to that. Not because I've done it, but because I'm actually the product of it. So yeah, infertile wife, man goes and finds a woman that he can have a child with. I mean, I don't agree with the way he did this. He should have just divorced his wife and then moved on with the next woman. I don't know why he didn't just do that. That's what I would have done. Um, but I guess he probably really liked her, and he told himself like he didn't really want to leave her. Blah blah blah. And apparently he got the woman pregnant after they divorced. So I guess it was more so like after they got divorced, then he got the other woman pregnant, and that type of deal. So he didn't get the woman pregnant while they were still together. So yeah, so I don't know. Apparently, he was still faithful to her to that extent. But let's just be real. If dude was still doing his part, and this is the thing that irks me about the things like this, where people are looking for cheaters. This is the thing that irks my nerves. All the resources she expended just to do her Sherlock, skullduggery to find out all this shit, to go and take pictures and shit. She's in the wrong on this shit. I don't care what this article, of course, is meant to try to make her seem favorable and to make him seem like a scumbag. And she's doing this post-mortem, mind you. But this definitely makes her look bad because it sounds to me dude was doing his part. And I guess she was probably feeling some type of way because she knew that she wasn't getting the same responses out of him. Probably because she does what a lot of wives, that a lot of working and busy wives do. You neglect your husbands. You don't give them attention like you used to. And she was probably noticing that he wasn't seeking her attention like that, and that's what brought her to looking for what he's doing on the side. That's what that was. This is what females do. They always assume you can cheat on them because they've probably been cheated on, and they know how easy it is to cheat because most women are cheaters. So I'll even go so far as to say all women are cheaters. So that's why women, it goes to them. She's trying to soak. Really, what this is, she would desire what all women want when they get into this type of situation. When she's married to you, she's entitled to your resources. So she, of course, is offended that he's giving out resources to another female, even though she's not putting in more effort than she was before, and even though he is still putting out the same amount of benefits as he was before, meaning she's receiving the exact same. Most of the times it's more actually, but she's at least receiving the exact same benefits that she was, doing the exact same amount of effort that she's doing. Now, mind you, I already told you she's doing less effort. I already told you that, but she's still getting the same benefits, and at least the same benefits. I'm pretty sure it was more actually, but she's at least getting the same benefits. So that lets me know he was doing his part, and she goes and looks for trouble. That's what this is. Now, he isn't wrong. He is in the wrong. I'm not going to lie, because I don't like the whole lying thing. Apparently, the only lie he told was the whole where he was going, which that's what he had to do, apparently, because I guess if he told her he was going to Knoxville, it would have seemed weird or something like that. I'm just assuming here. So I guess he just said North Carolina. Now, that was like a little white lie. Okay, cool. You got to do what you got to do to keep it under wraps. She's the type of female where, like most females, she won't understand where her place is, which is you aren't putting out the same effort, yet you're still receiving the same benefits. You're actually receiving more benefits as my wife, despite the fact that you're actually giving me less benefits as your husband versus when I was your boyfriend. So in this situation, if that were the case, hey, he got him a chick on the side. He was doing it for however long he was doing it. She's trying to make it seem like he was hoeing or something like that. I actually think it was less than what she was making it seem like, because a lot of women, you so much as text another female and she'll just mark it up as cheating. So I actually think some of those other females weren't actually what she's claiming. It was actually probably the same chick. So, and he's doing the right thing. He's actually getting with single moms. Shout out single moms, y'all the concubines out there. So he actually got him a single mom and all this stuff. So he's kind of playing he's playing that part. He didn't get with a female that was looking to get married and looking for wifey. He went and got him a single mom. She kind of knew where she was. She knew. And here's another thing. They knew that they were the side chicks. They know that they're the side chicks. So he's not leading those other women on, making them think that they can marry him or something. No. They know they're the side chicks, which, if I can just be honest, most females, if you know it, if the guy is good enough, you're absolutely okay being his side chick. So, like I said, that lets me know at least he was playing his part in that regard, and he was still attractive enough for other females to be okay with being his side chick. I hope you heard that. So I'm picking up little details about him through the bullshit she's saying. She is absolutely in the wrong for doing all this extra. And at the end of the day, even she blindsides him with the divorce because, mind you, that's what she did. She blindsided him with the divorce. She didn't talk to him. She told the family, and he found out through his family that she was divorcing him and leaving him. Which, mind you, she already probably filed for it by the time he found out. So she absolutely blindsided him. And of course, here's the caveat. Despite all this bullshit she went through, despite all that, despite the new guy that she claims that she's with and dealing with, unfortunately, guy passed away. Which, mind you, she knows because she was still staying relevant. Mind you, remember how she said she was how she said she was still in contact with his family? Of course, she knew what was going on in his life. Of course, she did. So it's not like she tried to block and forget about him. No, she was still talking to his family. She was still trying to dig up dirt on him and all that stuff. Which, like I said, again tells me the type of guy he was. He was still worth it that much. Now she was probably divorcing him, trying to get as much as she could out of him, just because that's how y'all do. Black females, y'all really think that y'all doing damage with this, which most of the time, alimony, all that stuff. Yeah, it hurts, but at the same time, it's like, okay, dude moved on with other chick and had a kid. Okay, cool. Also, I guess she told herself she was going to get out here and do what she did in college, which, mind you, she has some other dudes. So, yeah, so there's that. So I guess the streets was calling as well. But mind you, she's not married. She is single. I actually don't. Because she's an infertile, probably 40-year-old plus woman, I mean, there's literally no reason to marry her. So she divorced her husband. She overstepped her boundary, which, mind you, if he was playing his part, he was doing his part. There was literally no reason for her to turn into Sherlock. That was her trying to blow up the spot. That's all that was. And when she did it, so she did it to the family and everything. Now, this is how the little nerdy, skullduggerous, deceptive chicks, because most females would have put a shit all on social media. Well, she tried to be like, oh, I'm not that type of female. I ain't going to dox him on social media. Oh, no. She just went and talked shit about him to his own daughters, to his own sisters, to his own family, and then blindsided him with divorce, not talking to him not once. So that kind of, and I'm pretty sure she was in contact with him from time to time to twist the knife in his ribs. So that goes to show you what type of female she is. So I just found this article interesting. There was a lot here. There was a lot that I could, kind of dig into deeper if you kind of know some of these scenarios and how situations like this come about. But when it comes to the cheating thing, I'm not gonna cheat. I'm not the type to lie. I'm gonna tell you up front. Hey, if I'm making 80,000, we get together. Okay, that's cool. I really like you. I want you to have my kids, all that stuff. We get married. Cool. I'm making 100,000. All right. Hey, you as the wife, you're gonna plateau. This is most likely gonna happen, and I understand this. So I'm like, hey, in the event that you plateau, now mind you, this is how this is supposed to run. In the event that you plateau, talking to your wife, in the event that she plateaus, you're going to still do your part. Because this is the thing that irks me. If I'm doing more and I'm not being reciprocated properly, I need that additional oomph to keep going. And if I'm not getting it from my woman like I'm supposed to, the only way that I can really make up for it, I don't do drugs. I don't have vices like that. The only way I can really make up for it is with some additional feminine energy. So I'm going to have a side chick. That's what she's there for. When the main wife just can't reciprocate properly, that's what she's there for. Because let's just be real, ladies, you don't. You get married, You're trying to go sit your ass down. That's how it goes. And 90% of the marriages that I know, you get married, you start doing less. You start looking for ways to do less. That's just how it goes. First, starting with your weight. That's the first thing to go usually, if not the attitude. But yeah, you start looking for ways to do less. That's exactly how it goes. So he's not wrong for the side chick. He was wrong for some of the things he did, pertaining to the whole credit card thing. Um, I prefer not to lie. I can't really say he led her on because I'm pretty sure she probably led him on too. So he probably was just, real recognize real. He was like, all right, if you're going to play it like that, then cool. I'm going to go do my thing too. Like I said, there's a lot of things she's not saying too. So real recognize real in that part. Like, hey, if you got me, you're infertile and all this blah blah blah, and you're doing less after our marriage. Okay, cool. I brought it to your attention. You're not making any plans on improving. Instead, you're trying to go back to college. Okay, cool. I'm gonna go get me a side chick so I can get all the things that I literally just told you that I need from you. You declined to give it to me, so I'm gonna go get another side chick. Now, mind you, I'm pretty sure when he went on holidays. This is the fucked up part. I don't know if she cooks or not, which most of y'all don't. So I'm assuming he probably spent the holidays with the other chick, probably because she cooks. Ladies, if you cook, one of the biggest incentives for a guy to come over is if you can throw down in that kitchen. I ain't just talking about the bedroom. Oh, no, no, no. If you can throw down in that kitchen, I'm trying to be over there for the holidays, for the get-togethers, hell, for the weekends. I'm trying to see how I'm trying to see how much free time I got in my schedule. I'm trying to put your ass in there. If I know you throw down in that kitchen, I'm trying to be there. Learn from Big Mama. There's a reason why everybody collected at Big Mama's house. There's a reason why everybody loved their grandma so much. Why? When you got together, yeah, granddaddy's there, but everybody got around for grandma because grandma threw down in that damn kitchen. Now, if you didn't have grandma that didn't know how to throw down, you don't know what I'm talking about. Grandma threw down in the kitchen. I can tell you right now, if he spent holidays with the other chick that had, mind you, the other chick was single mom or single mom. She's trying to make it seem like there was plural. It might have been. It was probably different women over time because sometimes some single moms though you kind of swap them out. So if they were married for 13 years, I don't know how long he was doing this, but let's give them each 4 or 5 year run. So he probably went through about 2-3 chicks because after about 4 or 5 years, then they start going bad. So then you got to swap them out for another chick. But I can almost tell you right now, he probably found him a chick that could cook. And she was probably telling him about all the shit she's about to cook for Thanksgiving. Because mind you, he was there for Thanksgiving. She was probably telling him all the shit she was about to make for Thanksgiving and for Christmas. And I'm telling you right now, he was like, wait, you about to do what? Like, oh shit, I gotta get over there. Let me see. Let me work this line here real quick. Baby, I gotta work on the holidays real quick. Baby. Yeah, I'm just telling you, like I'm calling it like I see it. I'm telling you right now, I'm pretty sure chick knew how to cook. She threw down in that kitchen, and he was like, "Hey, I gotta be here for the." He said, "Hey, I gotta be here for the holidays." Now he did mess up. He did mess up, and she obviously made it known that she took offense to that, obviously, but she didn't know because, like I said, he was still doing his part, which means the money was there, the income was there. He was still fulfilling his obligations. It's not like they had their own kids, but yeah, it was there. So, and mind you, she found this out, like by digging through stuff. So she had to go find out about it. I guess hindsight's 2020. So not in real time, I don't think. But she went back and like looked through like all his old messages and shit. Mind you, like I said, all the effort she put into do all this instead of putting in the effort to shave a few sizes. So she didn't. She put more effort into that than she did into shaving a few sizes. So I'm just being honest. I'm just being honest. But yeah. So unfortunately, he passed away. What she's also not telling you is she's definitely struggling financially as well, just as much, if not more, because that's how it is when you have two incomes and your partner's making more than you and handling the business, and then all of a sudden you decide you want to pull whatever this is. I don't even know what the hell to call this. You oust him to his own family, and then you block him and immediately proceed to divorce him, all the while trying to not talk to him at all. Like, you just completely just block him like he didn't exist. So yeah, for her to do that so swiftly and easily, that kind of lets you know she probably was like half a foot, halfway in, halfway out anyway. Um, she tries to talk about it because obviously she's a psychology major, so she's talked to people that gone through this, so she kind of knows how to talk about it to make her seem like she's not a narcissistic psychopath. But there's definitely some things in here that kind of, it's like a red flag for me. There's red flags on both sides, but I've already just, I just told you, it's not the fact that he was cheating, it's just the fact that there were some mistakes he made, and she's definitely in the wrong for blowing up the family because she felt some type of way, because she didn't say that he was wrong. She didn't say he was abusing her. She didn't say that he was messing up the money, or they were bankrupt or something like that. No, it was just, you're cheating on me, there's another female, and she's not saying all the stuff that was also going on behind the scenes, meaning, i.e., like most wives, especially the black females, she was doing less during the marriage. She was infertile, so she couldn't give birth. And I'm pretty sure there was deception on her part because she's a fucking psychology major. So, of course, there was some deception there. So, I thought I'd put my 2 cents on this article. Also, she's at a university surrounded by a bunch of sexual degenerates. For example, Florida GOP chair accused of sexual assaulting threesome partner. So, guy absolutely wanted a threesome with his wife and a female. His wife backed out, and he showed up to have sex with the female, and she declined, and then they eventually had sex later. Um, yeah, so she's claiming he raped her and all that, and we'll see how things go. Um, at least he proceeded to try to do it with his wife. Not sure whether or not he was lying, and he just said that to the female, didn't tell his wife. We'll find out eventually. Maybe the wife will come out and support him, or something of that nature. We don't know yet. But yeah, they're school, these colleges, and the politics and all that stuff. It's full of sexual degenerates. I mean, the sexual degeneracy that goes on at college, it's it's kind of like, how can I say it, infamous in a way. Yeah, it's kind of it's infamous. So a lot of stuff that she wasn't saying. Obviously, she's never going to say it, but I can just imply and fill in the blanks here and there, because there are reasons for choices that we make. Same way there were reasons he was doing his thing and stepping out, and there was a reason why she didn't find out for the longest, and then she decided to get on her Sherlock. Big no. Understand when you have something good or you have something going for you, and when you start getting greedy and you start trying to exploit more benefits and doing things, and then you find out something you weren't supposed to find out. The least she could have did was go to her husband and talk about it. Now, mind you, she's a psychology major, and she literally did not do that. And she even said that in the article. That was a big no-no on her part. But like I said, I filled in the blanks as to why that was, because she too was deceptive. And she too had her own objective in this, in what she wanted. I'm assuming there was other options, or she assumed she had other options, and she said she was going to go off and do better. Cool. Well, I'll end it there. And I hope I filled in some of those blanks for you. I'm going to put the link to the article in the description, so you can go check it out for yourself. And again, this is The Reflex. Later.